Hello, my name is Roger Weiss. I play fiddle with Cleoma's Ghost, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about us and some of my influences. I heard Dewey Balfa play fiddle, and it changed my life. I went to a music camp at a Shokan upstate New York run by Jay Unger and Molly Mason, and I went without any idea of what kind of fiddle I was going to play. I had played blues guitar for much of my life, and probably when I was 40 years old I went to that camp. I'm 51 now, so about 12 years ago. I went and I wanted to learn to play the fiddle, and I had no idea of what kind of music I wanted to play, Appalachian, Quebecois, what have you. And I heard Dewey Balfa play the fiddle, and I saw some video of him, and I fell in love with Cajun fiddle. Part of what, as the evolution of my playing, would take periodically trips down to southwest Louisiana, and instead of seeking out the sort of known fiddle players who, could give me lessons, I always tried to find the older guys, the sort of off the beaten path guys, and just make my way to their door and just play with them and sort of just get a feel for who they were and the music that they played. And one of the people that I had the opportunity to meet with was a gentleman by the name of Shelton Manuel, and he lived, probably outside of Eunice on the road towards Mamou, and Shelton was a old blind fiddle player who lived in this little shack right by what they called the Mamou Water Tower on Leo Swallow Road. And there were times when I would sit and play with these older musicians where I would just be struck by sort of the heart of the music, the soul of the music. And that gave me the ability to sort of find that in my own playing. So instead of learning how to play the songs, which I did at the Ashoka Music Camp over a couple of years, my trips down to Louisiana were more to get a feel for what I would consider the old masters, even though they might not have ever recorded, but they really had been playing the music their whole life, and it was their life. It wasn't like they did it to make money, but they were doing it because it was an expression of an experience that they were having, and maybe through the fiddle, that sadness, or through a waltz, just that conflict about a love relationship. One of the trips we took, we went to Gaydon, Louisiana, to visit Leo Absher, who became a very dear friend of ours. And we were visiting with Leo, and he brought his friends over, and we were playing Cajun music, and Leo cooked some garfish, and it was just an incredible evening of just camaraderie and Cajun music, and we felt so welcomed and honored. And we got up to leave, and now I hadn't been drinking, which you'll see was very fortuitous, because as we passed through Gaydon, we were pulled over by a cop. And he was definitely a no-nonsense kind of guy, and it wasn't like I was gonna, I was driving a rental car, I didn't know how to produce the documents, and he's looking at me like, what's your story, and it was just a little bit tense, and I was nervous, and I got out my driver's license, and he looks at my driver's license, and he looks at me, and he looks at the driver's license, and he goes, "New York, huh? You're really a long ways from home." And, I was just sort of like getting more and more nervous, but, I didn't know what was going to happen. And he goes, "Well, where are you guys coming from?" And I said, "Oh, we're coming right up the road. We were spending the evening playing some music with Leo Absher." And as soon as I said Leo Absher, the cop totally changed, and he goes, "Leo Absher? No shit." And, it was just, we talked a little bit of Leo Absher, and, it was, now that we sort of proved that we weren't interlopers or, foreigners looking to take something from their culture, but share something, it was all fine. He gave me back my license, and he said, have a safe trip home, something like that.
Great.